Alabama, even if she hates our guts, she deserves to be able to take care of her child too and be able to send her child to school and give her child a school lunch without having to break her back in order to do it.
Yeah, but Trump said that he's giving a $5,000 tax credit to moms that want to stay home and have another baby.
Yeah, so Trump did talk about a tax credit on the campaign trail, a child tax credit.
Yeah,
And if he gets that
it's
done,
in operations right now.
totally. If he gets that done, that would be fantastic. Like, if he can get a child tax credit
Good.
passed, that's $5,000. Great. I'll be the first person to say that's wonderful. Except, first of all, he hasn't even proposed anything yet to get that done. He's been in office for 5 months now. The Republicans are not even in favor of that policy. It'd mostly be Democrats voting alongside Donald Trump if that's something he's trying to do. And so, given the fact that he's made no progress on this, I'm skeptical. And also, the Democrats are the only people in recent history to have gotten a child tax credit passed. And look, if the Republicans really wanted a child tax credit, they would have voted to renew it under President Biden. In 1 year, it reduced child poverty by 50%. The Democrats said, hey, that's a successful policy. I think we should keep doing that. The Republicans let it expire. And so I'm just doubtful that Republicans would
Mhm.
actually back something like that.
Yeah, glad to hear you say that. Okay, what do you think about the Ukrainian mineral deal that just went through?
I mean, I think like from different perspectives, for the United States, like having more access to minerals is good. For global security, I don't think it's the best thing in the world. There's no security guarantee with this deal that helps Ukraine. It doesn't bring us a step closer to the end of the war. So from that front, from like a global security perspective, not a fan.
But you do understand, like, basically all of the electronics and electric cars and things like that need these minerals because we're getting them from China at the moment.
Yeah,
And obviously there's problems there at the moment.
yeah, yeah.
So I think that this is the best thing that we could have started with, if you will, in efforts to kind of make a little peace in that area.
I mean, look, I'm not opposed to the United States having a mineral deal with other countries that give the United States more access to minerals and not allowing our enemies to get access to those minerals. So I'm very happy with that. The problem is it kind of feels like we're taking advantage of Ukraine, and it doesn't include a security guarantee. Like there's no guarantee saying, hey, if you give us your minerals or give us access to your minerals, then we'll provide X amount of support for you and, work toward an end of this
But we've
war and be an
already, the
ally.
reason why this is even happening is because we did provide support and they have no way of paying us back. And so they're paying us back through minerals, we're providing them protection.
Yeah,
How are we, how are we taking advantage?
I'm
How is
not
this
like,
taking advantage?
well, it's because we're extracting like these natural resources that are in Ukraine that they could be using to grow their economy and just saying, hey, it's ours. And like we kind of pressured them into doing this. And also like me, I don't really care about Ukraine paying us back or not. It's not like, again, we didn't send them bags of cash, we send them weapons. That is an investment. Giving them weapons has significantly weakened Russia, making them less of a threat to the United States. And I think that if we can indirectly make one of our enemies less of a threat to us, then that's a pretty good investment. So I'm not necessarily looking for a cash return on investment. I'm looking for a national security return. I'm looking for a standing return. And if we're looking at it from that perspective, then we are significantly better off in the world with Russia weaker than we were 3 years ago, you know?
So posing this thought, and thanks for talking with me because now this is the cool part of, I don't know, humanity. I love it.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, when you start to love Trump, I'll be here for you. I'll support you. I'll be on your side. We'll have lunch together.
I hate to
Don't
break your
worry
heart.
about
I hate
Harry.
to break your heart.
Harry, I promise I will be always on your side because you've always been on my side.
Whoa. I mean, thanks for the galaxy, Josh.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not on your side politically, but like I
No,
want you to
just
be
personally.
well.
Personally.
Sure,
Like you've
sure.
always had me up on the show. You've always given me a chance to talk and just laugh at me, whatever.
Sure. You're right. You're right. Sure. So what were you going to say?
Okay, so check this out. So if Trump, basically, because he's the one that made this deal happen, we're doing this trade deal with Ukraine, would you think that this could also encourage other people, other countries to do more trade deals with Ukraine, benefiting them more? giving them more access, like resource money for their resources.
No, not really. I don't think that this is like going to incentivize other countries to be like, oh, let's have a trade deal with Ukraine. I think that their minerals are finite, and I don't think that the United States would really want to share those minerals with other countries. And I also don't think that other countries have a lunatic in office. So a prerequisite for them being like, hey, let's defend national security for the globe won't be give us your minerals. It'll just be that's the right thing to do. So like Great Britain, Germany, Poland, and France, the leaders of all these countries had a meeting with Zelensky. They're coordinating on how to work better together. They're Ukraine continuing to send them weapons. Zelensky said President Macron are friends, that they talk frequently about war and war strategy. On an expert of war. And so, yeah, we need a mineral deal with you. They're just saying, yeah, we'll do it. Donald Trump just happens to be a lunatic saying, and maybe we'll support you. These other countries recognize of global stability, whereas Donald Trump, he doesn't.
Okay. Okay.
You think it's bad though that I have to get something for, and like, do you think in World War II, when we weren't part of the war yet, and Great Britain was saying, hey, German U-boats are cutting off all of our trade routes. We can't get food. We can't get water in here. We can't get resources in here. We can't get weapons in here. Can you help us out? Do you think it would have been fair for the United States to be like, yeah, you are fighting against these awful people, but we're going to need like a trade deal in order for us to do that? Do you think it would have been right in World War II?
That's a great question, but I think like right now it makes sense because we've basically at the end of the day, you, Harry, making all the money that you make and however you make it, have paid taxes, right?
Yep.
And that went over there and it's never going to get paid back. It's up to you to decide whether you like that because it's we the people, not necessarily only the. So you have to say to you, Harry, do I like that? And for me, I'm saying, I want something back. How can we make this possible? I want to help you as much as I possibly can help you. But, it can only go so far. You have some resource that we don't have. So let's make a deal. I'm going to help you give us resource and payment. Final, let's go.
Return being global stability, Russia not expanding and Russia getting weaker, like, isn't that a good investment? The United States spent so much money and had all these different missiles at ready during the Cold War to stop the spread of the Soviet Union, essentially to stop that country from getting stronger. Spent so much money. We spent so much money in the Middle East to do that, to stop them from getting influence in the Middle East. Now, we, the United States, are sending like 4% of our military budget every single year to Ukraine, and Russia's lost half of their original military. Their ships are being sunk. Their planes are being shot down. Their currency is crashing. Their economy is crashing. Isn't that a good enough investment for the United States to be strong on the world stage, as opposed to we need X amount of dollars in return?
Yeah, but I'll like the Doge findings of recent with Elon Musk and Jesse Waters discussing what is it called? The Department of Peace. Have you heard this? Have you heard about this? You haven't? Okay, yeah. So I don't know how much I can say on here because I don't want to ruin your life. Go look it up.
Sure.
Because it's important. And my uncle, who is not a Trump supporter at all, could more on your side. He texts this to me. He's like, "Is this true?" And I was like,
what am I looking up?
Doge, Jesse Waters.
Jeez. It's hard on me.
Department of Peace. I think it's Department of Peace. Somebody in the chat knows.
I gotta be honest, I'm finding nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm finding nothing. The Institute, they reportedly Doge recently visited the U.S. Institute of Peace.
Yeah.
A government agency focused on conflict resolution.
Yeah. And they found out
Doge claims to have.
Yeah, go ahead.
Doge claims to have found issues at the Institute, including a $130,000 contract with a former Taliban member and allegations of deleted accounting records and hidden money. They've also claimed to found loaded firearms inside the institute headquarters. But so far, these are just claims. They have not been like verified by outside sources. And matter of fact, there's actually no articles on this. This is just coming from an
Just do
so I don't know if
Fox News?
no like these are the It's a good recommendation. Sorry, I'll talk for like 2 more seconds and then I'll hop off. You're on Instagram, right? Yes. Link in bio. I post on Instagram all the time. Any comment about why taking a break from doing live debates? I don't want to get involved in that controversy. And I want to just point out. No, I shouldn't say that. Fuck. Sorry. I keep starting sentences. I can only imagine how on that end. I wasn't a broke college kid. And my brother, save up, pay for your education, my man. The articles are free to read. The people that are paid subscribers are just, supporting. I did say that at some point, one article will be paid, one article will be free, but I'll still put out free articles. You know what I mean? Because I'm not about paywalling everything, but I do want to be able to do this, and go to school and pay for my own college. Johan, thanks for the 2, man. Good to see you live again. Hey, brother, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Charles, thanks for the 5, man. Do you think I could come up on your live one day and tell my story on why I hate Trump? I'm an ex-Republican, ex-chemical engineer, double amputee who is on SSDI and just started a business as an imposter. That's an amazing story. I would love to hear from this gentleman. Charles, 100%, man. It's incredibly kind, brother. Thank you for your generosity and thank you for your support. Yeah, really nice. How do you think we should move forward? We need to have a strategy to win back young men. D, thank you so much. Harry, thank you for hanging in there. You're the one that got me to be active in politics at 60. I appreciate that so much. Listen, let me maybe brush over this vaguely. I think that there are so many, as an importer, Charles says, as an importer, he's an importer. I think that there are, unfortunately, a lot of people okay, how do I say this? Look, we lost young men because young men felt like they weren't cared about by the Democratic Party, right? And here's why. Like, the Democratic Party doesn't really talk about young men, and we don't really talk about the issues that impact young men. And on the flip side, if you're a politically uneducated young man and you don't really know what's going on, but you're disillusioned with the way that American politics is working, and you see Donald Trump sitting next to your favorite male streamer talking about issues that pertain to you, that person is
ours, and we're gonna sell it. It is what it is. We're just gonna have to do our way with it. But in any event, I'm ready to talk to one of these conservatives. Jimmy Williams is present. Good to see you, Jimmy Williams. Yeah, we're gonna take that plane from him. We're gonna do a lot of things. We're gonna make sure that we get back. Hello?
Yo.
What's up?
What's up, dude? How's Trump destroying America?
I would say tariffs are certainly not a good thing.
So when does it start getting destroyed, in your opinion?
Immediately upon taking office.
Wow. So you think it's went downhill?
Absolutely.
How's your life gotten worse?
Well, I would say that the market certainly isn't good. So that's a terrible thing that's happened. I would say it's not good that we see our shipping that's basically fallen off a cliff. So certainly not a good thing.
Jesus. All right. That's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
You don't got any response for that?
No, I don't care.
Oh, okay. That's what happens. That's what happens, man. Hello?
Yo, what's good?
Good.
Hey, man, that's what's up. Can you name 5 Kendrick Lamar songs?
It's not on my mind.
Damn, bro. So you a fake fan, huh?
Is that what you're here to talk about?
Yes, sir. Kanye's better, bro. Check out his new song, Everybody.
Where are they? Dang. That's crazy. That's crazy. Man. These people are crazy. Hello?
Hi, Isaiah.
What's up?
I'm not a Trumpster. I have a
Okay.
question, because it's something that has been eating me, and I've been watching you since before the election. Honestly, I have a legit question that people from the left have been asking. Why does it feel like they're not doing enough? Why does it feel like they're going to the state or the country's capital and talking to people, or doing a filibuster, or doing this, but we have all this crazy stuff going on from, Trump and his people, and the left are just really quiet?
I think that it's a mix of things. Republicans control the White House, the House, and the Senate. So I think that is very, um, a reality that's there. But here's the deal. We do need to be fighting back harder. And it means not being at the State of the Union with signs that say, I object, or saying that the answer to all of our problems are strongly worded letters. And so we have to do what, personally, we've seen some states take action. JB Pritzker's been doing a lot of stuff. Janet Mills has been doing a lot of stuff. In their knee is to getting rid of the independent redistricting commissions in states like California and states like New York, and going and getting rid of all of these Republican seats and making sure that we treat Republicans like how they treat Democrats in Florida and North Carolina and everywhere else. And we'll see just how quick Republicans will come to the table, because we're the ones that control more area that we can use across this country.
I agree with you, but what I'm seeing, except for like AOC, Jasmine Crockett, a couple of others, I don't see a lot of Democrats. There's another one. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter. I don't see a lot of other Democrats except for the few that we can name that are way in our faces, which is wonderful. I don't see a lot of them really stepping up. I feel like, and it's not just me, because I belong to different organizations, Indivisible and other groups and stuff, and a lot of people are feeling this way.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think that, we have to really change the way that we do things in DC. I think we all know that. We all know the same old isn't working. And look, there are a lot of folks that are fighting, but for the ones that aren't, we've got to make sure that we are getting people in office that are going to represent our values. I think that's what we've got to do.
The thing that grosses me out, honestly, is because hate me out, but it is the fact, because that is what is attracting his people. We need, I think, in my personal opinion, I don't want anyone out there as crude as him. I don't want anyone out there talking down people the way he does. But I want somebody in a more positive light, being as charismatic. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'll tell you what. I think it's time that we just go and be unapologetic about our mission to beat Republicans up and down the ballot. And I don't think that we should be worried about sitting at the table with folks that are just basically complicit with destroying this country. And I think that we have to be playing in these school board races, get them the hell out. We got to be playing in city council races, get them the hell out. We got to be playing in these state legislative races. We got to be playing in all races to make sure that we're getting them out. Because I think that for a long time, we've gotten used to the idea that, oh, well, maybe these guys aren't as bad as Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with that. I think it's time to go and rid the country of this just complete, Trump subservient group of electeds that are just not doing what they need to do.
But
And so we got to work on it.
it doesn't seem totally Trump subservient. It seems like there's Democrats that seem to be afraid to take that jump.
Well,
And
I'll
that
tell you, look, I can't speak for the 217 or 250 Democrats that are in the House. That's up to them and their districts. What I can talk about is me and what I will bring to my district, which is somebody that's going to look for the Republican school board members. We're going to get them the hell out. It's somebody that's going to go and get Republicans off of city councils, and someone that's going to get their Republicans out. And I want people to know that I'm going to be the guy that's just going to be in Congress focused on getting Republicans out of office, because that's what we need to do.
You can't. You're doing what they do. You're selling yourself. We need somebody that's going to go, screw this. We need this. And I don't care what the Republicans are doing. I don't care what the Congress and, MAGA are doing. They're passing stuff left and right that is illegal as hell. And nobody is countering it. I mean, they're like, oh, well, you got to vote it in. No, there has to be loopholes. There has to be things we can do. And somebody has to say, listen, okay, this is protocol, blah, 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 blah. But what we really need to do is get above protocol and pull strings, because you know what? They're not following the rules. Why are we still following the rules?
I think that the reality is that the Republicans are not passing anything through Congress. They're just doing their own executive orders, and then they're ignoring the courts. But the reality is that, like, we have to look at the confines of Congress. They do control the House. They do control the Senate.
But the thing is, as you just said, they're not following the rules, as I just said too. They don't care anymore. They're just breaking the rules left and we have, they're riding judges, right? They're arresting people. Got to say, listen, and I don't know who it is, and I don't know enough about the law a bit. They can't do this anymore. This has got to be gotten to a point that strong stands up and no, don't rules, please don't anymore, because somebody's got to get up there and F this.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, though. But I mean, it's a departure. Always been. That's why I talk about gerrymandering our states to get Republicans out of office. That's why I talk about we can force voting rights, a way that we can force, their hand in every way that we look. So, look, I think that it's going to be a multi coalition. It's going to be doing things at the state level to go and put pressure on Republicans. It's ridding the country of them out of elected office. I mean, there's a lot of work that we can do. But means having more people in there that are not focused on rubbing fascists. That's focused on getting them out, and I think that's what we have to do. So
I agree with that, but can't you also agree that we just can no longer follow the protocol because it's failed us?
Well, but But that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like the protocol has been Republicans do whatever they want and Democrats play by a fake rule book. I say that that's not accurate.
Okay.
That's why I'm talking about getting them out of their seats. That's why I'm talking about gerrymandering them out of their seats to force voting rights. Like new and out of the box things that we can do. Like we also have to deal with reality that they do control the House and the Senate and the White House and the Supreme Court. Like that's a real reality that does play a role in this. And so I wish that I could just tell you that I can wave a magic wand as a future member of Congress in the next few months, but I think what separates a follower from a leader is someone that gives it to you straight and direct, no matter what the situation is. And I'm telling you that they do control all three branches of government.
I understand that. No, I fully understand that. I just feel like because we are just saying, okay, yeah, they do control all three branches, I feel like breaking the laws every day, constantly. There's got to be something somebody can say, somebody that can enforce. I don't even know who it would be that would just be like, yeah, no, we're done with you guys.
Yeah.
You can't. Pam Bondi, she should not have her law license anymore.
Yeah.
Pete Hegseth, sir, whatever his name is, he should not. No, my sister is in the military and she has more clearance than him, or she did, and he got, So my point is, we don't have some. There's something missing. We're missing something because
Yeah.
there's got to be something to stop some of this craziness.
Yeah.
So I'm
All
sorry.
righty. Well, thanks, my friend. Thanks for coming up.